I should say,
Sorry.
that,
Unless, you know.
Well, we have some additions and changes, which we can send to Ken, since he has the original document, for a next version.
And I'd like to see any changes you want to put on it as well. If there are changes you want to add to it or something you want to take off, I'd like to see the write up.
It's just gonna be a cross off of everything but the first section, honestly.
Mine's gonna be 3 X's, because I don't think you need it, because I think we've all been respectful here tonight. You can have the debate, and it rolls smoothly. Telling me that I have to be prepared in advance and to listen attentively, this sounds like I'm in grade school.
Does anyone have any other changes or additions they would send to Ken?
I'd just like to say, though, going with what Dawn had said, with using the borough solicitor for personal use, and how that situation occurred, and, you know, with Jim saying we can't rely on what ifs, I don't really think it's a what if anymore, because it did in fact happen, so, and it could happen again. So, I don't know, I just wanted to voice my opinion on that. I just think
Madam Chair,
that shouldn't be.
last thing, thank you. The fact that I engage a law firm in my private life, if there is no conflict with the borough, that's none of your business. And if there is a situation where the borough wants to sue Eckerd Siemens because they allege that they committed malpractice, then I'm excluded from the discussion, and you people who are not excluded deal with it. but you don't get to control what I do in my personal life outside of these chambers. That's an overreach, big time. I will exclude myself if you end up suing Eckerd Siemens for malpractice. That's not a detriment. You're all duly elected and I think competent that you can handle the discussion without me. So that again, if you're not trying to overreach, that should be stricken.
Okay. All right, then we will make these changes, or, yes,
Can I
Mayor?
just say one thing? I understand where you're coming from, that to you, it seems like control. But I think the perception of not just anyone here, but there was a perception from people in the public that it didn't, I don't know, like it didn't look good. And no, listen, hear me out. Because no one would have known that you used the solicitor except the person that you were in that debate with, told everybody that you used the solicitor. So to the public, it did not look good. There were questions. I received questions.
I did too.
I received questions on whether or not the borough paid your bill.
And did you give them the answer?
Of course I did.
Okay, so then,
Of
then
course
why
I
is it a
did.
debate?
And I had to, and this isn't an attack on you. I'm just trying to explain to you why that is a concern, because people from the public did not think that it was a good, it didn't look good to them. And they thought that you would use borough resources for your personal
Yeah.
attorney fees. And so I personally, Grace, can attest to this. I look at the attorney bills every single month. I look at every single call, every email. I've always done
How
that.
many of my bills did you get?
Zero. And I told any person that asked me that. I didn't even have to look because I know, because I always look at them. But that's the kind of stuff that came from
Yeah.
you using him.
So since we're coming at me,
No, I'm not coming at
well,
you.
we're saying Jim, and you're
No,
using
only
the
because
example.
you are the one that
Okay.
this came from, like that situation. Because it didn't
wait
come
till
up
you're
with the other council person that used him. It only came up when you used him because it was such public knowledge at that time for whatever I know the reason why, and I'm sure you do as well.
Can I respond now? Were you not done?
Well, I'm not attacking you. I'm trying to explain to you where that came from.
So,
I'm sorry, Jim, I just want to say where it came from was almost word for word in 3 other different municipalities, and I strongly suspect it's what you are inferring. Perception is truth. So if the perception is that it's a conflict or that there's, the relations are too close, then that is not good reflection on the borough. Go ahead.
Let me just clarify one point. When I say where it came from, I'm not saying where it came from in here, but that conversation, I've had that conversation with multiple people, with Jenny, with Ellen when it happened, because that was brought up multiple times. I'm sure I'm not the only person at this table that question was asked of. And there are people at this table that weren't on council at that time that questioned me about it.
Go ahead.
if somebody from the public wishes to question my engagement of Eckerd Siemens when Eckerd Siemens serves as the solicitor of this borough, they could either ask me, or if they wish to accuse me of something not appropriate, then go ahead and accuse me. Because you are in public service, and every one of you has a target on your back, and if somebody wants to bring that sort of allegation, then go ahead. I didn't do anything wrong. You didn't pay my bills. The residents didn't pay my bills. I engaged an attorney that I trusted because I had worked with him for so long to do something in my personal life. So for you to pass a rule now to say that I can't engage the attorney that I want to engage in my private life because some person in the public said to you, I think Jim Curry is having the residents pay his legal bills, when you know it's not true because you're reviewing the bills every month, then tell them to call me. You don't get to dictate, well, apparently you will, because if you don't strike this, that's what you're going to do. You don't get to dictate what somebody at this table does in their personal life. That's not right. It's not. And I would ask everyone to either reflect on it. We could park the personalities for a moment and think about that. It's on me. If the public wants to accuse me, that's who they're accusing. They didn't say Don Knoll. They didn't say Ellen Bullenbecker. If they accused me, then let me deal with it. I don't need you involved on my behalf.
Okay. Then we will forward any changes or thoughts to this document and bring it back to council.
Do you want various forms of that, or, because I need to be clear on what changes? I know you said removing section 7, but I hear Pat saying remove everything but section 1. So,
Fair enough, yeah.
unless those people who want changes should send me what changes they want. I know that's nothing and everything but section 1, and if anybody else wants to send me an email with theirs, and then we can compare 6 versions maybe. Or 3, maybe 3 versions. And you can decide which one you want to work with,
Okay,
okay?
that's what we'll do. Thank you.
Well, I know I've got 2 versions. If there's a third one, I can do that.
Okay. Ken, do you want to continue with your report?
Sure. Item number 2 is just informational for now. Our trash fees are to the borough, the cost to the borough from Penn Waste are going up. We're able to cover it for this year. However, we're going to have to take a closer look at that come budget season this fall to see if we're going to have to do something for 2027. These are written into the agreement because, you know, in this area, everybody's trash has to go to the incinerator. And when those tipping fees go up, they're built into our, all of our agreements in this area. So we're seeing an increase of $2.96 a ton beginning January 1. Now, we have some overhead costs that we factor into our budget for trash because of our billing and so forth. So we're going to eat this for this year, but we may not be able to survive that next year without a raise. So we'll look at that in budget season and see where we're at.
When is that contract? How long is that contract?
I think we have 2 more years. Penn Waste? 1 more year? This year and next year?
Somebody else did.
Well, that hasn't been the case in the last 10 years or so.
I know. But they're getting worse. and
They are
worse.
getting, yeah, I've had a lot of people complain about how bad it's getting.
Yeah, I watched the township website, and it's the same there with a different vendor.
Yeah, they can't.
It is.
They can't get the labor now. It's the,
Really?
yeah, it's really bad everywhere. It's worse though in the cities and boroughs.
Wherever it's tighter, it's worse.
Yeah,
you know.
because they have to get off the trucks.
But a lot of the same problems are happening in other communities, even like in the township, with trucks that break down and delays and losing drivers and getting behind schedule,
Yeah, people getting missed.
turnover.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
getting to be not just here, but it's.
My area gets missed a lot. We get missed a lot out.
So item number 3 in my report you see there, it refers to the Dauphin County REP. That's the Water Resource Enhancement Program that we're a member of. And in the packet here is an addendum agreement. I don't know that it's on our final form, Jim, because I don't think you ever got the revised resolution back from Alexa.
Yeah, now what they did, you notice this is now an addendum as opposed to an amendment. It's a appendix essentially. So what they're doing is they're trying to not have it as elevated as an amendment
Okay.
to the intergovernmental cooperative agreement and kind of repackaging this as, they've kind of looked at it again because they realized when I raised the issue that you can't, you know, you have to do an intergovernmental cooperative amendment resolution. Not that it's a big deal, but that they're viewing this just as the annual, you know, plug and play thing that's under the big arrangement, so that, you know, we can have a more simplistic.
So then we have the right copy in our folder then, the addendum.
I believe it is, you know. Now, I don't know, they sort of left it, they were still gonna get back to me one more time, so I guess there could be a little change or something.
Well, we'll make sure that we have the right copy for March
Yeah.
3rd, but I'd like to get this on the agenda to approve this. What this is a small project that the group has taken on. There's 11 members in the group. They just added one. I think Middlesex Township just joined on. And the county's putting up 100 grand toward this project. Our cost is like 3 grand this year, which we have in our budget, and we already all plugged it in for next year as well. So we have that money available. And what it's going to do is it's going to list and catalog all the rainwater gardens basically in everybody's borough, because the new MS4 discharge permit is going to be volume based as opposed to pounds of solids that you can measure. So how they're going to come up with this volume based requirement is they're going to look at all the impervious surfaces in every community and compare that to your pervious surfaces. And if you don't have enough of pervious surfaces for water to percolate down through the ground, like you don't have enough rain gardens or open space, your fees get higher. Okay.
Yeah, I think what they're doing, yeah, is even a little more robust than that. They're actually, I think, trying to put in the GIS, in the big mapping system for everybody, like even where various, they call them BMPs, best management practices, where pipes are, where outlets are, you know, a very comprehensive, kind of valuable thing.
Yep.
Even for other purposes, like you're doing construction or something, and you know where the stormwater pipes are and everything. And I think part of the justification for saying maybe it's not really amending the whole big intergovernmental cooperative arrangement is there are going to be MS4 credits from doing this mapping thing. So that makes it almost like the same as saying, hey, we're doing a project in Lower Swatara, and everybody's going to get shared credits from it. So
It also serves as a tool for the next bigger
Forever.
project.
yeah, forever. Right?
If we have communities in the 11-member group that don't have enough of space or have enough BMPs, that we can build one in a township, say, somewhere, like the last time we did Londonderry, had more rural space to build something bigger, that we all participated in the capital cost, that we all got credits out of, even though it wasn't in our community. So that's what this is leading to for the next round. So we'll have that on the agenda for your approval for the March 3rd agenda. Number 4 on my report are the different special events that we hold throughout the year, and we listed them there that we have to at some point decide some dates where we're going to plug them in for this year. So that's there for your discussion. Yeah, anybody has anything on that?
Yeah, is this the, because I know, Mayor, you said you had to get a list together. Was this the list, or is there other events on there, or is that something in process?
So we are doing National Night Out this year, which is,
So you have in your packet this list?
yeah.
with
Like, are
all
we
the-
trying to do that in a bigger manner, or like same sort of, it was a lower key we've done the last few years?
It'll be in between,
Okay.
somewhere in between.
In between, gotcha.
We haven't gotten
What
that
is
far
it,
yet.
the first Tuesday in August,
Yeah,
right?
I forget. Do you know what the actual date is? 4th. Thank you, Grace. And tentatively, we are still gonna do the fireworks that Saturday of Labor Day. Trick or treat, that's whatever you guys decide. And the Christmas tree date is not set yet. It's either going to be Thanksgiving, the weekend that it normally is, or possibly the Saturday after. I'm not sure on that yet. So there's a other community event I want to check with before I make that decision. So, but it'll be one of those 2 weekends.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
When is Halloween this year?
It's on a Saturday.
Oh.
The 31st is a Saturday.
Should we make trick or treat that Thursday?
Yep. I would.
I don't know.
Well, we can't make it that Friday.
But I would
Because-
check with
Because
other
football,
municipalities.
because football
Right.
is gonna happen that Friday.
But isn't it always the Thursday before Halloween,
Yeah.
usually?
Yeah, but
Typically is, yeah.
Yeah,
the last couple of years, it seems like more municipalities are changing away from that
Yeah.
Saturday. And like if it falls, if the 31st is on a Friday, they've been moving their trick or treat to like that Friday. So we may end up seeing like if it is on Saturday, other like the municipalities around us may end up moving it to Saturday and not doing it on Thursday,
Do you think
which is
we-
what we saw.
Yeah,
last
they've been doing it on the actual Halloween.
Right.
Yeah.
Should we just wait and see what?
I think we'd be better just waiting until we can talk to our neighbors and get a date that everyone is working on together, yeah. Okay,
Can I have a request on there? I would like a request for a New Year's. I brought that up at the end of last year. I would love to have a New Year's celebration in town. I would love to incorporate, on the corner out here, where the Old Tattered Flag at Ya Brew, I'd love to incorporate them into the mix and other local businesses. Any interest by any counselors for that?
Yes.
Something that,
I would be in favor of having a New Year's celebration, but I wouldn't want it to be borough sponsored. If you were gonna partner with a business, the business should take care of that. We can support them just like we do these other, the Blue Angels, the crafts, everything like that. But I don't feel that it should be borough sponsored. Because we have, our poor staff is working Labor Day, probably Thanksgiving weekend to get the tree lighting done. Now you want them to
Memorial
work
Day.
New Year's Eve.
That's not fair.
So I would definitely say a borough supported event. I would love to see it. But as far as a borough sponsored event, it's not something that I would.
What did you have in mind, Pat?
I wasn't necessarily attached to either, I just wanna make it happen. I mean, if we can have the borough's support and I could, you know, we can kind of form some ideas around it and.
Like what?
well, we don't have to discuss
have
it
anything
now,
like
right?
that. I-
Michelle, we're not gonna discuss.
I'm interested.
We already are, we could talk about it, I don't have anything set in stone.
So Pat, you want to talk to Cahoots and see if they want to do something, and if there's something about that event, we would support that evening?
Yep, I would love it.
Well,
I would love to talk about maybe, you know, having other businesses, you know, out there as well, if they wanna market themselves, or, I don't know, maybe something all of us can chew on and then bring ideas to the table and.
well, you know, we used to have that thing we used to call
Oh
it.
goodness gracious.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't
I-
think we're going
I don't
in
wanna-
that direction.
I definitely don't wanna have that.
But thank you for the memory, Rachel, thank you for
Come
the
on, it was
memory.
fun. It was, you know it was an
It was.
odd-looking shaped thing,
Thank you.
yeah.
Counselor Curry?
Thank you. Is the car show going to be part of the fireworks display?
I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm working on that. I'm not sure yet.
What is the other event that may compete with the tree lighting that has to be considered?
Another local event, the Middletown Home.
Oh, yeah.
typically when we bring up this topic, Ken does a full list of what those events entail. And he actually has staff start to get to work on engagements for some of these things. So, one, I'd like to talk about where the tree lighting's occurring. Are we doing the reindeer this year? Are we doing the horse and carriages this year? Are we doing vendors this year? It's something we discuss at one of the first meetings every year.
We're not doing reindeer. That's 100%. We're not doing reindeer. And that's not my decision where the tree is, as you well know, so.
Well, it's also, I think, the body's decision on the reindeer. And I think it was a very, very popular thing that was added to the event. And so I would like to make a motion that staff start to get quotes together from the horse and carriage company and the reindeer company, so that we don't lose them.
Second.
Go
I
ahead,
guess that
Mary.
would be to put it on the agenda for action at the next meeting.
Right.
I believe my memory serves that at the beginning of the year, we did talk a lot about the dates, but I don't recall that in February, we had made a final decision about reindeer or carriage rides. Well, certainly not reindeer, because that had to happen
Right.
for other reasons.
All the other stuff is. You can go back and literally watch him say, are we having the tree at the Keurig with the horse and carriage rides and all the normal things? We used to have
It
ice
would make
sculptures.
most sense to know where
Well,
the tree's going before I plan the event, like you plan the event. Wouldn't it make sense to know where the tree's going?
I'd like to have
before?
that discussion right now.
Well, yeah, so before a
I think
decision's.
that, I think, I was actually speaking, but,
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought she was speaking.
No, I was, because I was telling her what was normally included in Ken's statement. You can rewind the tape if you need it, but you won't have sound. Horse and carriages, no matter where your location would be, there's a way to figure it out. Reindeer are in the enclosure, so wherever you have the tree lighting, there's not that many locations that we would host this event anyway. They would be fine. It's something that the public supports, so that's why I would like to see it continue. So there's a motion and a second to have staff get this on the agenda for the next meeting to have the appropriate potential engagements with those companies.
So we're having a discussion. If there's a motion, a second, a motion to, at the next workshop, discuss the
No.
more details.
My motion is that between now and the next meeting, staff gets the quote from the horse and carriage company and the reindeer company and puts it on the agenda to be acted upon so that we can
So
lock
the
them in.
next meeting, though, is a business meeting, so we don't typically do that kind of conversation at business meetings. That's a workshop discussion.
This is a workshop. We're having the discussion. I'm asking you to put it on the business meeting for action.
Well, if there's a motion, a second, we're going to have to vote on that. All in favor of putting it on the business meeting, that staff looks into reindeer and carriage rides,
Gets the engagement with the
the
quote.
engagement of
Quotes, you
them.
want quotes, you want.
Right.
All right,
They want quotes.
pardon me?
They want quotes.
They want quotes, yeah.
I want the
Yeah.
document from the horse and carriage company
Yeah.
that says, here's how much we need from you if you want to engage us this year. Same thing with the reindeer.
And let me just interject, although we're doing this as motion, which is not inappropriate, I don't think it arises to a real business thing that we have to amend the agenda and all that stuff. So it's really more of a, you're kind of working through a request to you to put something on the agenda, and there's no problem with handling it, logistically as if it were a formal motion, but, it's not an agenda item. So.
For the business meeting.
For this meeting,
To
I mean,
advertise it.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with logistically handling this as a motion and votes and things, making your decision whether to put something on the agenda for the future, but it's informal to the level of, you know, the fact that it's not on this agenda to take that action. This is just a housekeeping thing, in my
Right.
opinion, as solicitor. So I don't think we're violating the Sunshine Act or need to amend the agenda for this meeting.
Okay.
But, you know, just so everybody understands, it's really working through a request to the chair to put something on the agenda.
At the business meeting.
So just say that you're gonna add it to the meeting.
Well, you know, you could probably follow through with
The motion and
the
second.
motion and,
The motion and second.
Oh,
is-
because there was a motion
is
made.
If it's
You
voted
have to
on,
follow
staff
through.
will get two
No.
quotes,
No,
one for
it's not-
carriages and one
So
for.
you don't even have to make.
Reindeer.
And bring it
Right.
To the business
I
meeting.
don't understand why
It'll
that's
be on
anything
the
else.
business meeting agenda.
It's not
I mean, I
usually a
do,
business
but
meeting.
it's not- Okay, that's what I thought.
It's not usually what,
don't want
The
to
business
control
meeting
things
is
violating
about.
the Sunshine Act by
We have action items on the business meeting all the time. We do
Okay.
a workshop and then we put things on there to be
We
voted
have
on.
the discussion now.
then
What would I do, bring it up at
all
the
in
business?
favor
Right.
to move it to the business meeting
Right.
as an agenda item? Aye,
With the quotes?
with the quotes or
Oh,
the
okay.
estimates.
Okay, great.
Aye.
All
Aye.
in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
I guess you better call the roll.
Grace, will you do roll call?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
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 Make a motion that the tree lighting event happen at the Kirk.
So move. Second.
Well, again, I assume that's to put it on the agenda for the next meeting.
Right.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Is there time for discussion? I'm gonna vote no, only because it is up to Mayor Lloyd to decide what she wants to do with all of, that's why I voted no for the reindeer and the horse and carriage.
Amazing. Can I respond, Madam Chair?
Absolutely.
So it's up to Mayor Lloyd, but while you were on council and the other people sitting here, did I get to choose where it went? Or did you vote on it every time? Because I got my butt handed to me for years that it was next to my house, but yet you are the ones that chose it and voted it. So she doesn't get to choose where it goes.
She may not get to choose where it goes, but she gets to put it together and come and present it
She gets to
us.
put it together when we tell her to. Right. Just like you did with me.
That's fine.
You guys are so
Mayor Lloyd just
transparent.
told you as well. But she was waiting for us to have a vote on it.
She did.
That's fine.
She did. She said she's waiting on us to have a vote. So there's my motion and there's a second.
Yeah.
Any more discussion? So the motion is to put on the agenda at the business meeting the location of the Christmas tree.
No,
Yes.
he said at the Kirk.
Oh, at the Kirk, specifically at the Kirk. Grace, will you call the roll?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
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 No. All right.
Ms. Willenbecker, shouldn't you
To
recuse?
just move
I have a
on,
question. You're just passing something now that talks about conflicts of interest and how you should be forthright about them. Last time this got brought up, I believe you recused yourself from that vote since it's your church.
I feel like we have to move on with the agenda. It is 8:35 and we're still on the manager's report.
So are you recusing
So
yourself or no?
we will get back to this, but
Are
it
you-
won't
are you
be any
recusing
more
yourself?
tonight.
Are you
So,
Ken,
recusing
but-
yourself?
Yeah, so that was just to put it on the agenda or not. You wouldn't have to recuse yourself to put something on the agenda.
Are you going to recuse yourself when we talk about the location if there's a motion for the Kirk?
Can we get on with this meeting?
I'm asking because you brought up a policy tonight, and I think it's relevant. I also have a question for her when it comes to executive session about
Okay.
conflicts of interest. You're trying to take my attorney away from me in my personal life. I want to know if you're going to recuse
Jim,
yourself.
we are not trying to take away your
You are.
attorney and your personal
are.
life. This
You are.
statement in the code of conduct was a reflection of you as a counselor using the borough solicitor, not you as a resident. And the idea is that when any of us, not just you, this is not about you.
It
Good
is.
heavens.
It is. So are you going to recuse yourself or
This
no?
applies to all of us.
Are you going to recuse
It is not
yourself?
about you. I know you'd like to think it's all about you, but these are
You've made it about me
what
for 12 years.
all of us
Are you
will
going to
follow.
recuse yourself or not?
Just drop.
Agenda,
I hope
can we
everyone's
just
paying
continue
attention.
on with this meeting?
Yeah, let's jump to item number 6. There's a
Should be
special
ashamed of
event
yourselves.
request for the Historical Society for the annual Arts and Crafts Fair for June 11th and 12th for setup, and June 13th for the event. If there's no objections, I'd like to put that on the agenda for the business meeting. They're also looking at a possible Civil War and reenactment, or encampment, I should say, not reenactment, encampment to go along with that this year.
Really?
Yeah, encampment. So, the item number 7 is informational, talking about, we were looking at some of our space requirements, and we can talk about that more later. I need to gather some more information, and there are some property issue things that at some point I need to discuss in executive session with council. Number 8 there, just informational about Overdeer Park was featured in the Borough News magazine. Number 9, I did communicate with the joint venture about the water service line letter that Mr. Curry shared with me regarding the lead rule. And I also met with a representative from Veolia today and talked about that. And he talked about drafting a letter to follow up on and clarify the letter that was spoken about at our prior meeting. He also spoke about wanting to engage the borough more, and they have a new deputy director who most likely will be up here at our March workshop and come around regularly to talk about the things that Veolia is doing in Middletown. Number 11 there, we have Deb Weaver resigned from the library board, and they're asking to approve Mary Bigelow to fill her seat, which expires December 31st. Also got a letter of interest from an Angie Byerly to serve on the board, and the board is requesting approval for a 3-year term. So Grace, I imagine that is a vacant seat, that Byerly, so we're looking at 2 people to appoint to the library board that we'll have on the agenda for the March business meeting, if nobody objects to that.
Sounds good.
And you'll see in your packet there, you may have seen it, the Historical Restoration Commission has requested us to put more on our borough page about their commission. They've drafted a mission statement and core values. I looked at them. They appear to me to be in alignment with what the ordinance says about the commission. But if you want to take a look at them or have the solicitor look at it, I think it's pretty straightforward. But I wanted to bring that to your attention before we just did that and see if you had any objection to us putting it on.
My only thought was in the last line of their mission statement.
Yeah.
I think that could be a little clearer. I suspect what they're talking about is identifying properties in town for to receive plaques. But the way it reads, it uses the word acquisition as if the borough is acquiring, or I think it just needs a little editing.
The last line of the mission statement, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought I saw that in the,
Pardon?
I thought I saw that in the ordinance, though, something about obtaining sites, recommending to the borough obtaining sites. So you're saying clarification more than just saying
Well, if it comes
advise.
from the ordinance,
Do we want to have Jim look at it just to be safe? before
maybe
we put
so,
it on?
because we aren't, I don't know that the borough is inviting
Yeah.
recommendations to acquire properties.
Can you, I'll send it to you tomorrow. I'll have Jim look at it before we give it to Greenwood.
Don't they acquire artifacts?
It won't take him long to do
Okay.
Can't can't the, Restoration Commission, can't they acquire
They're-
artifacts?
Where are they gonna put them?
I don't know,
They
but
don't.
they did at one point.
They're mainly an advisory commission. They don't acquire without getting approval from the borough to do things.
They had at one point.
Just read the ordinance the other day and it looked like,
Okay,
but we'll have Jim take a 5-minute look at it. I'll call him,
Yeah.
we'll look at it and make sure. That's all I have. We can move on.
okay. Let's continue with staff reports. Item number 5, codes.
Good evening.
Hi, Jason.
If you look at my report, I'm just gonna skip to number 3. If you had other questions with number 2, that's fine. But UGI proposed a town hall style informational meeting regarding the properties that are along Southwood and Keystone. There's been history of extracting contamination and doing some remediation there. And just to kind of answer some questions, concerns through that, with me having a dialogue with UGI, we thought it would be best to open that for the public to attend, and that could be here hosted at the Borough Hall, whether that's at the MCSO or if it's small enough, it could be here. But it wouldn't be a formal meeting, it would just be another type of meeting for anyone to join. And there'd be different stations for different categories. So maybe the demolishment of a property, that'd be one category. And then the extractions another category, the history another category, another station. So that would be something that I would recommend, that we put that on, and I can get in touch with UGI and come up with a date that works for everybody. Any objections to that?
No?
Great.
Sounds good to
Okay.
me.
Number 4, as our solicitor is looking through, that we just proceed with approving the 2021 IPMC draft ordinance. I did misspeak, I think, on the last one that it was by a resolution, but it is through just the IPMC only by ordinance. So there's a draft submitted for that for review, and if we can move forward with that, that'd be great.
I thought you had to go through the cross references for the,
We do.
okay.
Yeah.
So we can't adopt the 2021.
Can't adopt, but we're still able to move forward with that, correct?
No.
No, I mean,
No.
like the draft process to get that.
Oh, okay, yeah, we can work through the draft process. But the document here does, so, I don't know if you remember this, when we adopt the IPMC, when we go from one to another, we also have a bunch of sections where we say, we're tweaking this section. Some of them have blanks in the International Code, like how tall can the grass be, all that kind of stuff. So Jason's gone through, to the extent that 2021 may have different section numbers to make sure our cross-references all line up, that we're, bringing, filling in all the right blanks in all the right places. So this draft did not yet have that in it. It does have in, though, one very unique, important piece we talked about before, it may have been before some of the, new council members were on, and that was this emergency escape concept. And we uniquely ran into a, kind of what we thought was a fairly serious situation in town where they're grandfathered in terms of the UCC the building code regulations. So they don't have, it's an apartment building where they didn't have any windows in some of the apartments at all. So, no escape, and the doors from the apartments, the only door entered into a hallway. And it turned out there was the current codes that would apply don't apply to them because they predated the code. But we did some research back then and found there was a case that actually came out of Gettysburg where they said although the Uniform Construction Code stuff is grandfathered, you can specifically in your property code, other than Gettysburg, I don't know that anybody else has done it, but you can, without violating anything, address emergency egress. So we wanted to actually, and what we were doing here, and you'll see we were adding a whole section to our customized part, and that's that, on the second page, where we'd be adding a whole new section 706, and that's a whole long kind of standalone, goes on the page 2 and 3. And we'd like to get that in there in order to be able to actually, enforce that in the borough in a way that we can't and it's kind of funny because, all the newer places have this and have to do it, but this is, a unique way to reach back to ones that were grandfathered and tell them, well, you're actually gonna have to cut windows in or whatever you have
Oh,
to
I'll
do
be
here.
darned. Okay,
So,
thank
yeah,
you.
make sure you look at that part and you're comfortable with it, because that's, and what we try to do is stay within all the concepts that the Pennsylvania Commonwealth Court found to be enforceable, so.
Okay, Thank you.
We think it's solid.
Thank you, Jason.
And then number 5, it's just a continuation of our discussion from the last workshop with the short-term rentals ordinance. As you were able to look, look through the attachments and from the prior month, did you have any questions, concerns, or further discussion?
I would like to overlay in R3, which was Pineford. I'm on board with that. Let's just restrict it to that.
I don't know if that's a general
No,
consensus?
I
or-
agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, again, we can't have spot zoning, so you were,
Has to be
before we
both.
had mentioned a little bit more than, it's not
It's-
just one property, but.
Right, R3
Yep.
is also up north
Yep.
and the North Union
Yeah,
section
just
as
to be
well.
clear that.
And there are single-family homes attached to that R3.
Which one? Up here or
Yeah.
down here?
All of the south is Pineford. Everything up north on North Union is the nursing home facility, and then there's Pine Street and Roosevelt single-family homes.
Just a block of them.
Yeah, one side of the Roosevelt and one side of the Pine.
So it's, if you're going up towards your house, Roosevelt is on where Clue's house is, on that side.
You see those little squares along.
I do see the squares. I
Those are the
can't
single
see the,
I'm just looking at the R3 down in the corner, bottom right.
Yeah,
That's what I'm speaking of here.
we would have to include all R3 though. We
No,
can't
if we do an overlay, right?
overlay of all R3.
It wouldn't have to be all of R3. The overlay does not have to be an entire district,
We would have to word that.
but it cannot be limited to,
One
essentially
Just,
one
One-
property
one
or.
property.
whatever.
I
we
got
would
you.
we would have to word it accordingly, and we can't just say overlay of R3. We would have to be specific.
No, we actually do a map. It's a map amendment, and then when we adopt it, we also would say, these are the tax parcels that are within the overlay district.
Right.
It does not have to be contiguous either, correct?
No.
It should be contiguous, it doesn't have to be contiguous in the sense of you can have an overlay that has more than one pocket, but none of them individually can be spot zoning. So you can't say, I got this one property here and this one here and 2 property overlay. There has to be some contiguous, meaningful block. Each one, if you think about, they're almost like a district, like a zoning district. They have to, validity-wise.
So you could do
stand.
all of R3 but exclude the 2
No,
streets.
no, so the way an overlay works, So you have underlying districts, they call them, and that's what you're used to seeing. Here's the R1 district, here's the R2 district. An overlay can ignore those district lines and can be part over one, part over another, or within a subset of one. And then within that, you still can do all of the things you're allowed to do by right under the normal zoning, but you can also do this extra, we literally just put this in a week ago in Londonderry for data centers there. You know, where there are pockets where, you know, you can put a data center in.
Right, but my question is, so you could do the south section of R3, the very north section of R3, and
Yeah, as
Okay.
long as you don't just have one,
Fire station.
you
it's
know,
not
one
one
property
property.
in any,
No, it's more
But
than
R-
one.
R3 is, down south is one parcel.
Right, but
okay, that,
you have R3
that
up
would
here.
not fly then.
Right.
I
if
don't
that's the
wanna
other-
only do the south one.
Right,
R3 south is not one
Say.
parcel. There's a small section up there in the upper left-hand corner, of a couple properties there.
Yeah,
where
right
it
up
looks
there. Top left of it.
On Main Street.
Are we discounting commercial?
That is still Pineford. But it
Even
would
that's
be,
a separate
right,
plot.
yeah. I mean, it's owned by Pineford. I guess they could sell it, but it's,
Well, that was gonna be my next question.
is.
What?
They're a private, Pineford is a private entity.
Right, and
How can we,
tell them that they're gonna be a Airbnb or?
If they want to,
If they want
Yeah,
to.
if they want to,
they might benefit them.
but
Oh, they don't have to be.
they don't have to.
But we'll have to look now, you're raising an issue, if it's all one owner,
It-
it may still have a spot zoning.
Yeah, I
We'll
think
have to
there's a
look at
couple.
Yeah.
exactly
in
who's
here.
in.
But the.
Yeah, but that's
It's not just parcel, I mean, it could be, it's really
But my
conceptually, if one owner has, if you had 30 parcels, it was all one owner.
Yeah, but what about if you include the most northern section then, which is what I said, so you include
Right.
this.
Is it contiguous?
It's not contiguous.
Yeah, see, that doesn't help.
This has to have something
Yeah,
down
what I'm
here
saying is any
contiguous.
island of overlay should have more than one owner
Like
and
if-
not also be a loser. I mean, it has to be realistically,
Like if you said R3 in the South District, the overlay is gonna be R3 and R1A east of Adelia Street up to Maine. Then you have other owners in that district, in that overlay district.
but without the overlay, you could just specify it in R3 since there's only 2 sections of R3.
yeah, that you could do. If you
So
were
instead of
comfortable
using
putting
the
in
word
both,
overlay, we
wherever
just-
R3 is, you certainly,
What is the?
then you don't have also the map complexity of doing an overlay. Just putting that
I
in
just feel
use.
like they're not all Pineford here on Adelia Street.
The one that's on the corner there.
I don't understand.
Yeah, that is the. I did forget about that's the firehouse.
Yeah, but up from that,
Huh.
I don't think they're all Pineford.
I don't think they are either. That's what Angie was asking me. I don't think they are right there. That little area.
No,
You're right. Yep, that is the alley. So there are one, two. I've missed that one. There's about 6
Okay.
properties there, so that could work. I did miss that. Good catch. Thank you.
so are we discounting the, or not including commercial? Are we,
Pat has
That's what you
proposed
guys have to
R3 only as
decide.
the overlay.
That was just my proposal, or Jim brought up initially.
yeah, I mean,
I
Yeah,
need
I'm
to
good.
see a bigger map.
I'm good with that
Like,
section.
I need to see
Huh?
how many.
I'm good with what we just said.
residential homes are. in
what,
these.
R3?
Like,
From the
is way too
southernmost
small.
tip to that alley.
Yeah,
How can you make
okay,
Pineford?
is there
Sorry,
any way
but-
you can't put the map
Michelle, you're not forcing them to
up
be
on
an
the screen,
Airbnb.
can you?
Unless
just
you,
allowing them to
Grace, do you
have them
like
if they
the,
want.
digital version?
I was gonna say, it
Put
helps
that on the map
when you get on the
from my
computer.
report.
To make it, well, I know, I was
Expand.
trying to look at his, but.
Yeah,
That's what.
if
they're
you
asking.
could, I don't know if you can. I mean, you might go on Ecode 360 or something, and if it's on there, might be a better copy than just let's scan.
Yeah, our zoning map would be on there through the website.
Putting a lot of pressure on Grace all of a sudden.
Your tech savviness.
Maybe if I blow it up from my packet, it might be easier to see.
That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I wanna see what residential area, or the homes in those two areas.
In R3 by Pineford?
Well, that's, the firehouse is there in the corner,
Right.
so then it would be the next, those apartment buildings up there.
Yeah, there are two sister buildings that
And
are
then
apartments.
And two houses.
Yeah, there's two.
If you're going up towards Giant from the firehouse,
Right.
you have the blue house that just sold, you have the white house, and then you have a duplex that has maybe 4 or 5 apartments in it. That sits on the corner.
On what side of, like the
The left
firehouse?
side. Yeah, the
is on
firehouse side.
The
Or
right.
the right side.
Yeah.
The firehouse side.
Yep.
On that first block there.
Yes.
What's going on? Oh, there it is.
That we have two screens. Oh, that's a TV.
No, that doesn't say R3.
So right here is the firehouse. Yeah, right down a little bit, Grace. Right
The
there.
rectangle
Yeah.
there in the corner.
Right there is the firehouse, and then you have
This is what used to be the red snack bar back in the day right there. And
Oh,
up here,
yeah.
I think there's two apartment buildings.
So it doesn't, it would stop right there on Adelia, not go into Hoffer.
yes.
It does not include Hoffer, because at one point it did include Hoffer.
In the prior zoning map? Okay.
Well, it includes Hoffer as Pineford.
As the edge of
The
Pineford.
right, the edge of Pineford, but it
Not the
doesn't-
houses on Hoffer, across from Pineford.
It would only be the right side of Adelia going north and the right side of Hoffer going north,
which is
Hoff-
Pineford.
which is all Pineford. I did forget to see I forget which alley that is. It's Clearfield, I think. It goes
Yeah.
all the way down there. And there's two sister apartment buildings on that top parcel there where Ken's at. And then there's about 3 or 4 parcels of houses south of that.
Yeah.
Wait,
So this is one owner, and this is one,
One.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other owners.
okay, up from the firehouse
Yes.
on Adelia.
Yes.
Right.
On the right hand side. But the rest, what's that? Clear up at the top.
That's one Jason said is owned by Pineford, I don't know what that.
Yeah, they're empty parcels, and the sign of Pineford is in
Oh.
that. So it must have been something from the past.
So you're looking for direction on what we want as the overlay?
Yeah, if we wanted to continue just with, now that we can confirm, I did forget that there were 6 other different owners. So we could do that as just that overlay of that R3 in the south section. And it
Do
wouldn't,
both
With or
parcels.
without them? With or without those 6 extra owners?
with, it'd have to be with, because that'd give us different owners. And that's where I was getting confused, because I forgot there were different owners. I was thinking
Okay.
it was just all Pineford, and that would have been a difficult situation.
Yeah, okay. No, that works.
If the rest of council's okay
And you
with
said
that.
there's another R3 in,
The other
In the
R3 is up north, on
That's
North
in Oak
Union,
Hills.
Where Oak Hills is.
just across from the school district.
now are you okay with it there also?
I would be if it's up to council.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you are, then we're not doing an overlay district, we're just saying this is where that use is allowed in R3.
Majority of the property owned in R3 is the nursing home facility, and then you have single-family homes on every single Pine Street side of the right there, and then north of
That's like
East Roosevelt.
10 homes.
Yeah.
Isn't
On
the
each
cleanest,
street.
isn't the cleanest thing just to do the lower section that we just went over with 7 different owners?
I mean, you
And do-
could,
and do an
that's the
overlay,
choice,
and
and
just
then
be
it would
done.
be an overlay.
That is the cleanest, and
Okay, that's where I'm at.
it's legal now.
For that one.
So Jason, you're suggesting both R3 sections that we see here?
Originally, I was
Now he's
because
on.
I
I
was
want him
thinking
to say
spot
it.
zoning that all Pineford owned that R3 until there was
Uh-huh.
clarification. I forgot about that little
Okay,
alley section. So I'm okay with either or. If the rest of council's good with the south section, I'm okay with that.
okay.
Alright,
And not doing the top section.
And not doing the north R3 at all?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, that's a lot of houses.
all right,
Okay.
that's good.
All right. And then as we're moving forward with that, there was discussion at the last meeting of doing the earned income tax as part of the income for occupational tax that we would miss from an investor potentially owning those things. Hummelstown does that and gave us the idea when we were meeting with them last month with the I
yeah, we shouldn't get into that in this, we gotta be doing the land
Okay.
use regulation,
all right, that comes later then.
yeah, if at all.
Okay.
Yeah, don't give us too much to think about.
Okay.
Okay, your 4 minutes is up.
Then
All right.
anything else, Jason?
I would love to just have 4
Your
minutes.
4 minutes is up.
Well, I think we have better direction now. We can move forward with all those details, and then I'm good with everything on my agenda unless you have further questions.
No, thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Electric? Rob?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Begin continuing out at Woodland, as well as with our pole maintenance. We also
Rob,
added additional LED.
Excuse me, Rob?
Yeah.
Maybe pull it down a
Oh,
little
too
bit,
loud?
yeah.
We also added additional LED high bay lights to the highway garage and upgraded the Borough Hall basement lights to LED. DM coatings requires minimum 40 degrees temperatures to paint the historic streetlights, which will most likely occur in late March or early April. And it's estimated to take 3 to 4 weeks, weather permitting. So this would mean the Hometown Hero banners would have to go up like end of May, end of April, early May. So if everybody's okay with that, and with your approval, I can go ahead and schedule that. And attached is the quote from Holiday Outdoor Decor for the pole wraps to complete the historic streetlights, excluding the Emos Street extension. It's 52 of them and then 104 bows. Uh, 19 Spruce Street update. The substation is energized and all phasing is complete. They're continuing to work on the SCADA and final testing. And our next meeting was today, this morning. We transferred the load to each circuit, so Spruce is now running half the town and Mills running the other half, how it was. And everything went smoothly with that. And one outage since last report was a blown fuse. And the action item, approved DM Coatings CoStar's proposal number 253805 for light pole painting in the amount of $34,500 from the electric sinking fund. Any questions?
And you had an action item at the bottom?
Yep.
Yeah.
For the pole painting.
Right. And does council approve that project?
No,
Yep.
that will
Yep.
go on the agenda for March 3rd. It's not
Okay.
on your agenda for
Okay with
tonight,
it?
Yeah.
but he wants to get it on the agenda for March 3rd.
For March 3rd, okay. All right,
Madam Chair,
Bancroft, yes.
can we put on the agenda as well, these pole wraps? As you'll see on the quote, he got a quote of 13,126.10, and the amount that I raised that's sitting there for that purpose is 12,174.67, so you're less than $1,000 to get all of that.
Okay. Then that would be also on the agenda for next time, to look at that.
Although your quote does say it expires on the 27th. Is he gonna hold that for you? This is probably post-holiday pricing. That's why
I'm
I'm
sure
asking
he
you to
Oh,
move on it.
I can double check, but I'm sure he will.
This is from Brian.
Yeah.
Can you just ask him to hold it till March?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So it was requested to add emergency management to the agenda. We're number 7, report on that.
During the last month, I spent 76 hours in the office. 20 of those hours were spent in 2 days for the storm, the snowstorm I spent in the office. Did some online training for ice jams with Pima. Updated all the county material, which were all up to date for the year. Attended the first Blue Angels meeting for the air show. It was an introduction meeting, so we'll start having meetings from there on out for the chief, Matt, we'll all be
Okay.
there, so for that, so.
Great.
It's gonna be 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
do the
3
hol-
days this year.
Yeah, they're gonna do the holiday. And, I answered all the emails and, received and answered all the emails.
Okay,
Thanks, Tom.
And, next week I'll be here 30 years.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
congratulations. My goodness.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Hey, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Tom, did you do any training for TMI at all for this month?
Now you mentioned that, Matt and I will be there Saturday for an all-day conference for TMI. It's our
Okay.
first get-together, so I'll be reporting on that next month.
All right.
It'll be our first meeting.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks.
Number
Thank
8,
you.
finance.
Hi, good evening, everybody.
Hi,
Hi, Sid.
Sydney.
We touched on the pen waste increase during the manager's report, so I only have one other informational item for you. We've been working with our IT provider, and we will be upgrading our network infrastructure and replacing our current server. Both of those items are budgeted for in 2026 and were part of our 3-year plan that we worked up with our IT provider. And that's all I have for you. Any
Okay.
questions?
That's it.
Alrighty.
Thank you. Fire department, number 9.
Good evening. I only have
Hey,
one
Jim.
information item. According to the media, we have been awarded a $16,300 grant from the State Fire Commissioner's Office. We've not received that notification yet, and it's going to be used to buy some replacement hydraulic rescue tools and some fire hose.
Great.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Number 10, highway. Matt,
Good evening, everybody.
evening.
Evening, Matt.
Led right out of the gate there with point of interest number 1 is the Oak Hill basketball court. Hope everyone had a chance to review those. And if there were any questions, I'll be happy to field them.
This has been something back in, that I think was brought up maybe a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years.
Right.
I want to say that, going back to before I was on council here, that was a very highly used basketball court. Going into the substation build, didn't think anything of it, and I can say overwhelmingly over the last year and a half, people who know I'm on council will come up to me and ask me about those basketball courts. When are the basketball courts coming back? I can tell you I was against bringing them back. Last time we thought this up. Now I am for having a basketball court. Specifically, I really like, we're talking about a little kid's court, and, I know there's tons of other courts in town, but it's all about proximity. There's tons of children who live in that community and don't have an easy way to get to a basketball court. I love the half court idea.
Yeah.
I love the half court.
You broke it.
I love the half court idea. I think the half court will bring more children in there than older folks who want to play a pickup game.
Right.
I know my kids play here and they would benefit from a half court, just going and shooting basketball for fun, like nothing serious.
Mm-hmm.
I would hate not to put something there just because of it's apparently in the past wasn't, I guess, for the sake of not finding out the word, policed well, as far as making sure everything is tidy and safe and neat and yada yada yada. Like, we have great people who work for this borough that can police that property and make sure that doesn't happen. So I'm all for, I can entertain a full court, but specifically I'm very interested in the half court idea.
Mm-hmm. Matt, was it a full court or a junior high size?
The only court size that I could make fit in just about any of these scenarios is a junior high size court. So even the full court is a junior high size court.
Even a full court. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I think Pat's idea is an interesting possible solution because a half court sort of attracts younger kids. Older kids could still go down to Huffer or Colston or Fry, but a half court does feel like younger kids to me.
Yeah, it could also not be quite as competitive. It's just a half court.
Yeah, yeah. Because we heard that with the full court, sometimes younger kids didn't get a chance to play and the older kids dominated.
I had a resident approach me today who, there is a basketball hoop that they put on the corner. Where is it? Park
Circle.
Park Circle. And her concern is the kids are using that, but they're starting to play out into the street.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's concern about the kids getting hurt. And she said that also proves the point that if these kids want to play basketball, they're going to make a game up at wherever they can, without the court being there. So, anyway, I just told her I would relay that information because she couldn't be here.
And Matt, these last two drawings are at the end of the small parking lot.
Yes.
Because we've heard that MABA is moving the shed.
Yes, they would like to move their shed down to beside the first baseline.
Mm-hmm.
I like that spot, by the way, Matt. I think that spot is great. I mean, you could even construct it in a way where it's, I don't even know, walled off. I'm sure there's some great ideas that you could wall it off a little bit and have it be its own separate entity.
Oh, for Exhibit 4?
Yes.
I would concur. ERF court would be fine with me. Half court or the full court, but I'd like it back where the shed was.
Where the shed was.
I gotcha. Yep.
I don't like the D because I don't like it takes away 16 spaces of parking.
Yeah.
Because they do utilize the parking for the baseball.
Yep.
And I think families park in there when they're
When
going
they're
over
kids.
to so they don't have to take their kids across the busy street.
Correct.
So
So
Losing
ERF
is-
is
If
Madam
we only
Chair.
need to lose 8 spaces with F,
Madam Chair,
yeah,
with regard to the D, E, and F courts, I understand if you were going to build a new court, I get why you would initially say, put it there. The only thing I'm going to point out is that, as noted by some of the residents tonight, if that is what they are seeing, if you had the court up on the corner, that is far more visible. You're far less likely to be throwing condoms and drug paraphernalia while you're on the corner of a street, as opposed to tucked back in here. Well, okay, so to that point then, it was on the corner of a street before, and now you want to tuck it back at the end of the parking lot.
We don't want it nowhere.
Well, I understand. I'm saying D, E, and F puts it in a more secluded spot than it would be in the other options. So all I'm saying is, if they were seeing that type of activity when it was in the open, I worry, would you see more of it if it was tucked back there? I don't know the answer to that. All I'm saying is, if you are going to build a court, I would think that you would want it to be visible and not secluded and not tucked back. And I will say that from my experience, we're not going to eliminate the basketball court in Hoffer Park. I openly admit, having been down there with my children, that sometimes I have heard curse words come from the basketball court. However, I don't believe that you eliminate a public good because of behavior. I think you have to address the behavior. And so when I'm down in Hoffer Park, if I heard that, I was the one that said to those kids, whoa, we have kids of young ages here, and they immediately stopped, and that was the end of it. I've actually walked and seen another parent do that one time. I just think that by tucking that basketball court, if you're going to do it, tucking it back in a secluded corner could potentially exacerbate the situation they've already brought up.
So
And you lose parking.
putting it in the front and taking away that grass spot where I know kids play soccer, I've seen kids play football in that open grassy spot. They can't play football in the concrete back where the parking is. So again, if it were up to me, I would put it back there where the parking spot is and not tear up the grass in the front.
I would interject that you have less chance of a ball going over a fence into the traffic to back off
yeah.
where the shed is and causing an accident there. Now, I know the other one was on a corner, and I'm sure balls went out in the street sometimes, but I think it was a little bit further off the street than what we're talking about here, just a little bit. That's another consideration. Matt, I would say that what you're showing here is F 42 by 37. Is that a half court? So we're looking at 2 half courts with F, just junior high size half court and what? Because you got 49 by 54 and 42 by 37.
The 42 by 37 is the actual court. The 54 by 49 is the actual what would be paved. There's an escape
Okay.
area
All right.
around the court so they don't like stumble off the edge.
So the court is the actual,
Yes, the
inner
court is the
square.
smaller size. The court is actually the smaller rectangle
Okay.
in each of these.
Matt, just a quick question. So on C, you're not eliminating any trees and you're not doing anything with the pavilion. And on F, would you have to take down that mature tree that's there? Because that boundary you just talked about extends into that, but I don't know what that means. I mean, how, does that interfere at all?
No, because this one would actually stay on the parking lot itself.
It stays on the parking
Yeah.
lot. Thank you.
Some pruning would most likely have to occur for clearance.
But it's not near the trunk that
But
you
you
would.
don't
Correct.
cut it down.
My only fear with a half court, and again, I don't have little ones that are playing, but my only fear would be your big ones are gonna go down there, play on that half court, and you're gonna get little ones to come down and they're not gonna be able to play. And I know that Oak Hills has a lot of smaller kids. That would be my only fear with a half court. At least if you had two, your young ones could be at one half and
But I don't know if that, I'd have to say that, you know, what I've seen happen too, when it was full court, that when the teenagers come in, they take the whole thing. Little
Yeah,
ones
they
aren't
don't-
getting on at all.
Yeah. Matt, I know it's not on one of your drawings. I've been meaning to ask. The fence that is the outfield of the ball field, behind that fence, there's the flagpole back there, but there's all that, that's borough property.
It's borough property. It is underneath power lines. We have the feed to Spruce Street substation back there.
Oh.
So there's primary, there's secondary, there's also communication wires back there. It's also, you start getting into slope issues. It's a little bit more grading would have to be done in that rear portion back there. I talked with Rob about it and, you know, we kicked around. It's probably not the best thing to put a court right under the power line like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Could we ask Matt to get us some pricing?
Yeah, we have to decide what to get him to price.
Can you give us some ideas too, like creative half-court basketball for like kids? Like what other communities are doing to like make it like promote it a kid's space?
Yeah.
Always putting a basket on a low height.
Yeah, I don't know. There has to be
I
something.
can look into that.
Like how are communities being creative with
That's
that?
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is
I was just gonna
younger.
say,
I don't
you
like
think
that.
kids hanging on it.
You're asking for more trouble doing that.
Listen, I'm just asking for ideas.
Yeah.
I want to see different ideas because if this is a problem, which I think is a good thing, like there has to be some solutions out there how we can have a happy medium here.
But we do know at Huffer Park that there is, you know, trash talk and lots of trash, which we do not want to introduce into this new park. At Huffer, it's kind of hidden behind the trees. Not hidden for Public Works, they have to go clean it up, but let's just say hidden. But it would not be hidden at Oak Hills. So the idea of looking at options where the message of the court is, this is for younger kids who might not have such foul language and might not leave on, you know, things around. It's then more tied with the playground area. It's for younger kids. That's that park. It's an intriguing thought of how to, is it a lower basket? Is it, I don't know, different colors, like you know, like red and yellow and green, something that says not so much for older kids here.
Yeah, I'll take a look. I'm sure someone has faced the same problem somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you. Good idea, Pat.
Is there any particular ones you want, need to know the difference between half and full court or price both of them?
I would, if it were me, I'd do E and F,
Yeah.
Okay.
but that's just me.
Is there
Yeah,
Which
no
E?
more.
Oh, D, E. Okay.
use the full court variance? Is there a way to create more parking back there?
Not easily.
Like if you would put, because I know that because that parking lot gets heavily used after school and at baseball games,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the
People already kind of nose their vehicles into the grass under the tree line,
Yeah.
like toward the outfield fence. They kind of already nose onto the lawn there. And that's what I took into account when I said how many spaces were being used. When you look at the actual number of spaces, there are truly only spaces on one side of the parking lot. The other side is whoever gets there first kind of a deal.
Yeah.
Not lying, yeah.
I think that's the right direction, because when we heard from residents last time, it was parents whose kids are too young to cross Main Street or cross Union or cross Vine, which implies a younger child, someone who's just not able to wander too far from home. So the idea of a younger, smaller, sounds like the good direction. And can it fit? Yeah, whatever you can make fit in F.
I thought we heard E as well.
I
Pardon me?
said E.
Oh, Dawn said ENF.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can do those two options,
All
sure.
right. Thank you, Matt.
You're very welcome.
Continuing on your report?
Design plans for the lobby area, they've actually been going a little bit quicker than anticipated. We should have the design for the lobby area probably within a week or two for downstairs. They just gave me an update today. Survey work's been going on for Emil Streetscape. And final thing I have on there, as Ken noted, we had discussion with Fish and Boat Commission on a couple of topics, and they seemed very receptive to what we were looking at to doing there, so be a good partnership. I included the item number 6. As part of the school district campus project, signal timing changes are proposed, and permit revisions will be revised for North Union and Main Street intersection. It's in the center of the page from TPD. It's a lot of stuff on there to pour through. The only thing that they're doing is they're updating the clearance times and the split times, which the splits are one side goes before the other side goes. They're gonna tweak those. The clearance times are typically how long your yellow lasts before it goes to the red. So they'll tweak those to allow vehicles to get out of the intersection. They're adding a max 2 for the weekday PM peak, which is 3 to 6 PM. That's the heaviest use out there. I'm not sure what their max 2 timing is. A traffic signal, not to go into too deep, but a traffic signal only has so many seconds that you can do. And when if you want to fix one side, you have to steal those seconds from another side. So it's a really good balancing act that the computer tries to do. The other ones, the other bullet items there, they're just revising the permit. Changing a note here, revising a note there, sort of thing.
Okay.
There are going to be timing changes there. So that was just more of a heads up than anything.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Anything else for me? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Number 11, Mara, Jenny and Dawn.
We had our meeting last Monday, and things seem to be running smoothly. I also got an email today that said at tonight's school board meeting, they will be voting to hire the new child care coordinator.
Okay.
And she will begin her job on March 2nd.
Okay, good.
So.
And just a note, at the last meeting, we had a resident come who is in our gym, the MCSO gym, doing pickleball, and noted some issues with the floors that, Matt, I think you have a solution for.
Yes.
Do you mind? Just so that people know we followed up and,
No, that was Ellen actually hitting the thing.
We did, I had staff mop the floor. Salt residue is tough to get off of a floor that size. You have to, they emptied the bucket like 5 or 6 times trying to get the salt residue up. The floor needs sealed desperately, so I'm looking at different options to have that completed, and then it should be easier to maintain. There's a number of loose tiles that we have to deal with down there. Once we get those squared away, then we can put a good sealer on it, put a good couple coats of sealer on it. It is not currently included in our cleaning schedule for Borough Hall. It could be something that we look at for the next go-around, and at least get a price for it to see what it would be to dust mop and wash that. Even every other week, something like that would probably be good.
yeah, that's great.
So what's the immediate plan?
We can keep it mopped for
I mean,
now.
we got price quotes to have it sealed. Is that for budgeting for this year or for next year?
Yeah, we could, I'd like to get it sealed. They should have 3 coats of a good sealer on them, but I have a lot of loose tiles I have to deal with before we can move forward with having sealer applied to it. There's a number down there.
So the plan for doing that's not this year then?
If I
or
can
the-
get the tiles, I'd love to do it this year. I should be able to fit in the budget for that,
Okay.
that coating, but that may have only been, I'll have to check base with them and see how many coatings that was.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking is because the way it's been portrayed that if it gets sealed, it'll be easier to clean next time.
Right,
Because the dirt gets ground in now because the coating's gone from the tile.
yeah,
And it gets harder to get it up.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Thank you. Number 12, police report.
Good evening, I'll make it quick. We have a community event coming up, a walk, Off the Streets Walk, which is a walk for homeless awareness. Tom talked about the air show being 3 days this year, which is, depending on how much cooperation we get from the fire police, could be a problem for us. I'll keep you posted on that. He also talked about Dauphin County DES is holding a Crane Energy Municipal Workshop this Saturday. Just a real quick comment on Trick or Treat. This year, Trick or Treat, we held a different date than our local municipalities, and we got killed because it was an alternative. You know, you could go 2 or 3 times in your neighborhood. So, not suggesting which date you pick, but partnering with our municipal friends might limit our
Right.
locals, to our people.
Yeah.
Just to keep the strain off of us, because you know, I know a lot of people ran out of candy. I know a lot of people were overwhelmed with the amount of people that were here. So just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah.
We also had a request about Savvy Citizen, which is an informational program for municipalities and their citizens, just to go over what we currently have. I put some notes on the bottom of my report. We use Crime Watch, which is primarily a law enforcement tool. We pay a $2,000 annual fee. We have approximately 2,100 subscribers. It allows unlimited posts via email or by the app. It also allows citizens to respond either anonymously or with a name to the police department to provide tips or information on anything we post. We also have Nixle. The trade name is Everbridge. That's a $2,700 annual fee. We have approximately 4,000 subscribers. Historically, since I've been here, we've used Nixle as more the emergency, the world is ending kind of software program, so that if you get a Nixle alert, you know something's going on. By looking through historical post and text, at one time the borough used Nixle as more of a communication device, something along the lines of what Councilman Lister was talking about. I'm not suggesting we don't do that. That would be a policy that you could direct us on. Because Savvy Citizen is very similar to Nixle. It might have a little smoother interface and it might be a newer program, but it's basically the same thing. That's another $2,700. You know, I don't know what specific information you're looking to get out, but if you would utilize Nixle, we'd have to appoint somebody on staff to be the point of contact. I don't know how things would get approved to be posted, but that's just a summary of what we have. I also didn't inquire whether if we would go to Savvy Citizen, could we import the $4,000 4,000 subscribers from Nixle? I don't know that. But just for some about Savvy Citizen.
And in regards to Nixle, the reason we were using it so much in the past was because it was free.
Okay.
The texts were free, the email was free, the information was unlimited and free. And then they started charging per.
Well, we have 500,000 credits. We used 45,000 for one snow emergency. You get charged based on what you do. When we do a snow emergency, we do a phone call, we do a text, and we do an email. And the email generates a website. So you could limit it to text. You could, based on the importance level of what you wanted to communicate. You could still use Nixle for any type of communications we wanted to, but limit how much we do. We obviously wouldn't do a phone call to let somebody know that the New Year's Eve event's occurring this weekend. You know, we would do a text or an email. So that, you know, that could limit the costs. But,
Right.
you know, that's what we have and that's what's out there. And there's probably 3 or 4 more Savvy Citizens under different names that other communities are using. I know Hummelstown uses Crime Watch also, so they've probably adopted Savvy as their Nixle. So.
The only problem, again, with these apps is getting people to sign up for them. We've had Nixle for, what, 14 years, 15 years, something
Yeah.
like that. And we only have 3,000 people signed up.
Right.
And we pushed it. Like, National Night Owls, we literally sat there with a laptop and we're pulling people in to get them signed up for it.
Well, one thing Grace recently did was do a QR code card that has all of our things on it, and we're gonna try to start pushing that out a little bit more. We have it now in front of the police department. We've always had Crime Watch cards out, but this has everything on it. So, we're gonna try to get those out a little bit better and try to improve our subscribers. And everybody we ticketed at the last snow emergency got one of those in their ticket too, so,
That's good.
Right,
I mean, that's only 12 more people, but still.
right,
Oh, my God.
right.
Yeah, thanks, Dan.
That's all I got. I mean, anything
All right,
else?
anything else? Thank you.
Thank you, thanks for looking into all that.
No problem.
13 Joint Venture Veolia. No one is with us tonight, but we'll be beginning March workshop. Number 14, any council or mayor?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody get their local tax information yet? From
Get what?
Keystone? Your local forms for your taxes?
I don't get one.
Yeah, I think I did.
I did, I
We
think
got
I
them all.
Okay, I did.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I have something. Grace, I'm wondering that QR code that you were just speaking of.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe we could put some of those little flyers that you made for the ticket bags? Could we put some of those downstairs maybe? Are they? Of course they are, because you're so on top of it. That's great. And the other thing I wanted to just let everyone know was on Monday, February 9th, I attended an event called it was an Establishment Day celebration at Penn State. This is their 60th year anniversary. And it was really nice. And so I met the chancellor and we talked about we're going to have another meeting, but they're very interested in coming to one of our meetings and, just discussing like some of the resources that they have available to our residents, here at a meeting. Because that was one thing we talked about, that they have a lot of resources available to our residents that I think a lot of us probably aren't aware.
Don't even know.
For example, their library is open to the public and it's free. And I mean, we have a great library, but I did not know that, their library is available for us to use. So that is forthcoming at some point, so.
Great.
But it was a really nice, little event, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone else?
used their
Oh. Speaking of events, don't forget coffee, Saturday the 28th, right here, or tea, if you fancy,
All right, I'm coming.
10 to
for-
12.
I'm coming for coffee.
I might have some
And-
tea.
What kind of tea?
Any general public comment?
Tonight it's cinnamon tea. It's my favorite.
Troy White, 24 Beachwood Drive. I wanted to bring to attention to the council, of a potential, of actual a problem that I'm having with my parcel. As you may know, that there's also a Beechwood building in town. And I'm missing deliveries, I am missing mail, and it's going over there. I addressed it with the Postmaster General in Middletown. He said there's nothing they can do. I propose that we change one of the locations, preferably.
They changed the name.
Is that something that council is able to do?
Beechwood is in Pineford.
Correct.
Well, they are a
I've
separate
been in
private.
Middletown all my life, and the more and more we rely on deliveries, the worse it gets. So on several occasions, I missed birthday cards, Christmas cards, gift cards that were mailed to me, and the only other place that they could have went is there. And with that being a short-term lease option for people, it would be easier to change that location as opposed to a permanent residence on Beechwood Drive.
So you know Pineford is a private and separate.
But
So
Middletown had to have addressed that as a parcel, as a street location for mail to be delivered to. Because the Postmaster General said they cannot change it.
That's something that has to go through the county, I believe.
Is that what
Yeah, they do the
think so.
911 addresses.
Yeah, I think that's what it goes through.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if there are streets, we can rename them now, you know, to,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, I know we
coordinate that
can-
with everybody that's impacted, because,
Yeah, I mean, there's a building
It's a
down
big
there
deal.
that has X amount on one side and X amount on the other side. And people stay there a year, 9 months, they're not long-term. So, there might be a few, but the people that live on Beechwood Drive, I can't imagine that I'm the only person on Beechwood Drive that has this problem.
That's what I was gonna ask, do other of your neighbors
Yeah.
have the problem?
Oh, yeah, it's ongoing, my close neighbors, yes, so they're, because there's a Beechwood, I live at 24, so there's a 24 Beechwood building. So, if they don't catch it at the post office and sort it accordingly, that stuff goes down there. Now, the Amazon drivers and the DHL drivers, FedEx drivers, honestly, they go to wherever it's sorted to, and a lot of times it goes down there. More often than I get their stuff, as opposed to they're getting my stuff. I don't know if they get my stuff. I usually send it down to them or put it, or notify the delivery people and tell them to come pick it up.
The
not a street
building,
address.
right, it's a building name.
But when they do the address, like I know, cause I lived in Pineford at one point, like it could be 12 Driftwood, and that's how the address is, it's just 12 Driftwood,
Correct.
Middletown, PA. So if he's, you know,
here,
Beechwood,
yeah, I didn't realize,
and
so,
it's the exact same thing.
yeah, I don't think we would have even approved the names of buildings on the land development subdivision plan.
If they don't put the full address on it, it goes into the ether, and it's a crapshoot who gets it.
Yeah, it ought to say Village of Pineford, 12 Beechwood.
Yeah.
And he's saying they might not put Village of Pineford on it.
Correct. I mean, a lot of those people are or maybe school. They go to Penn State, and they're there short term. They're not there for the entire year or whatever the case may be. I know they're not there 30 years. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
we don't do the address, the county does the 911 addresses.
They give the approval, there's a process, I don't recall,
Yeah.
Jason might know a little bit. He's gone through it with, recently with Woodland Hills, but there's a process that he works with the developer for coming up with names of streets. They put them through the 911 system somehow, and they get the final approval, I think. They look for duplicates, different
Yeah.
things like that.
I just can't understand how this got through so many years ago, and Pineford's been there a long time.
But anytime, of course, you know, when you
really?
change an address, for the homeowner, that means a whole lot of other stuff.
Oh, yeah, we're not,
That's
yeah.
why I posted, I mean, I want them to do it down there.
Driver's license.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it's something you guys can address, I would be very appreciative of it.
I think those homeowners would have to do the same thing. If they change the Beechwood building, even though they're Village of Pineford and they become a Hardwood building, you know? I think they all have to change their
Exactly.
licenses.
But how many units are down there as opposed to how many units are on the
Yeah,
street
yeah, that,
of Beechwood?
How many units are?
I don't know, I mean, if I visualize it, I would say maybe 16, 8 on each side of the buildings. Maybe a little bit, maybe 20.
This is kind of a unique
I'm not sure
request. We've
what-
never
yeah,
had one of these
I'm
before.
kind of
for-
stumped
Well, we don't know how it
on
got
even
there.
how to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when we're doing subdivision land development everywhere.
Yeah.
Streets names are very regulated, you know, especially if you're accepting. You usually have rules in your subdivision land development ordinance about not duplicating.
Yeah.
I don't know
But both
how this building
Beechwood
thing
Drive and
became.
the Beechwood building have
Yeah.
existed for at least, what,
Oh
40
my
years or more.
goodness.
Oh, it's been,
Yeah.
whenever they put that development in there, I don't know which one came first. But when that development in there went from homestead based to private housing, that's when it was,
Your street came first,
I'm
Beechwood
sure it
Drive.
probably did.
Because I was a young kid riding bike there when they were building Pineford, so that'd be in the 60s.
Well, Troy, thanks for bringing that to our attention. We'll have to, that's a new one.
Well, I figured I'd probably stump you.
That's a stumper.
So, I mean, if it's something you guys can do here as a borough, I would appreciate that.
Okay.
The one thing we legally could do is change the name of your street. 'Cause that's
Yeah.
we can do
That's
pretty.
what
I don't want that.
No, you don't.
I don't think my neighbors do either.
All right.
So,
Troy
thank you
White.
very much.
Thank you.
Troy White Way.
Yeah, you can name it after me. I've been here a long time. Thank you.
Any other general public comment?
I have a couple questions to add to the questions for the water company. If my service is deemed to be needed replacement, can it be replaced with plastic pipe?
Well, I'm not the keeper of the specifications anymore, so I don't know that specifically, but I'm sure that the project manager down there could probably answer that.
Okay, my second question is, who owns the pipe between the main and the curb valve?
The pipe between the curb valve and the main is the ownership of the borough, which Veolia has control over as far as repair and replacement.
So how are we going to inspect that pipe?
For the lead rule,
Yes.
you're gonna get contacted by their,
No, your piece of pipe, you and Viola's, not mine, yours.
are you talking about the main?
Yeah, no, the lateral from the main to my curb valve.
Oh, they will get in your home
Yeah,
and they will take your water meter off, shut the water off, and they'll run their device up through the center of the pipe the whole way out into the street.
and if that is deemed to be hazardous to my health, who's gonna pay to replace that?
They will pay, what I
Who is
understand,
that?
Eventually.
Veolia,
Okay,
through capital cost recovery, will get their money back from you in rates for replacing the portion from the curb to the main. They haven't determined yet how the financing's gonna happen. We have questions about that, the financing from the home to the curb, from your home to the curb. But what I'm being told now, that they're gonna do another letter, and it's really the homeowner's responsible, is what they're saying.
Are you
You've got to be kidding me.
That's what I'm hearing, but let them answer it, ask them to clarify it.
Can we see that letter before it goes out to the residents?
Because I got.
He already got one that
also
says
about
financing
mine
on
My letter said that it was.
but I understand from the curb valve to my meter, I understand that. But I wanna know in the street, how they're gonna determine that needs replaced and who's gonna pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna determine whether or not it needs replaced the same way they're gonna determine your section. They're gonna go through and they're gonna test the material with their testing equipment. They're able to
But
scan
when they get to
it.
the valve shut, is it not?
They will have some method of doing it. I don't know how. They might be able to come up through the main, but they have to test the whole lateral is what I'm telling you.
Yeah, because I mean, getting into my home and saying you're gonna test Veolia's lateral, if they have to shut my curb stop off in order to go from my meter to the
asking-
curb,
you're
they're
asking
not
the
getting out to the lateral.
I think that's a very important question.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm gonna die because I don't replace my own pipe, that's one thing. If I die because they don't replace yours and Viola's pipe, then we're gonna have somebody's gonna have an issue.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, we're all gonna die, I can tell you that. And if we,
I plan on being here a long time.
and if you can tell me how I'm gonna do it when I do, if you can investigate and figure out whether it's what I ate or what my water came from, good luck. I mean, because
Well, that's the pretense for going under this investigation in the first place.
I think the whole federal rule is ridiculous, if you
Well,
ask me.
I'll drink to that, but,
So,
okay, thank you.
should've came with federal dollars to do this, when it goes into private property like that.
Okay.
So the question is, when they do the testing, out of the 2,600 homes, services that they're gonna test, are they gonna find 10 that need replaced? Or are they gonna find 1,200? That's probably gonna determine, and even with this body, is gonna be posed the question, okay, Borough, how do you want us to handle this? Do you want us to pay for those 12 individual homeowners, put that cost on your rates and have everybody else pay for 12 people in town? That's gonna be the question we're gonna have to answer at some point. Because they've already proposed to me, I got an email just recently, it's right here, from
Flower.
the engineering firm that's working for Viola right now, Entech Engineering, saying, hey, we wanna know if council wants us to come in and talk about Penvest loans for this lead project. We wanna know if you wanna borrow money to pay for what has to be
Pay
replaced
for
for
the
your
house.
residents. So there's all kinds of things floating out. Jim's letter said one thing, this email says something else,
I got one of those letters too saying.
yeah.
What did your
When are
letter
they
say?
going to be here?
What did her letter say?
They're gonna start the testing this year.
No, aren't they coming to give a
Well,
presentation?
yeah, they said, they'd come in March, but no, not a presentation. They already gave the presentation, but they're coming back in March, and I don't know what they plan to talk about when they come back in March, they didn't tell me yet.
At the workshop or the
Yeah,
business?
the workshop.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more public comment?
Jack Still, same subject, testing the service laterals. Jimmy Whelan's right. For them to be able to disconnect their meter and run this thing through the pipe from the house to the curb, you're going to have to turn the water off at the curb, otherwise you're going to drain the main. So I don't know how they can test the water from what he was trying to say, from the curb shut off out to the street unless you drain the main.
I just remember, because it took a little time, and I'm not in that business, I haven't been in that business for over 10 years. But several years ago, they mentioned one way that they would test that lateral that goes from the main to the curb, and that'd be by what they call potholing, where they drill a round hole in the ground, and they go down and physically uncover it and test it that way. Then they put the plug back in the street.
So Union was just paved.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Right. That's
All right.
probably how they're going to do it. I don't know for sure, but I bet that's how they're going to do it.
So I'm sorry, Jack, go ahead.
We kind of already have a pothole. It's a curb shut off. Can't they shine a light down there and see what's coming in and coming out? Yeah, okay. That's not a question, that's a suggestion.
Thank you, Jack, so much. Any more general public comment?
So, I guess I got a general feeling that you really don't care too much about what the residents think or the people that have the little kids over the park, but I gotta ask, Matt, did drawings and stuff. In your professional opinion, how long have you been doing this, 30-some years? In your professional opinion, Parks and Rec, what do you think a basketball court would do to that park? Honestly.
I have my thoughts on it. That's.
I think Matt shared his thoughts before, Greg, and I don't think it's fair to get him into
Well, he's your
this.
professional, he should.
I'm a professional too,
And
but I'm not a professional park manager, neither is Matt. He's a highway and property supervisor.
Okay, well, what's your thoughts on it then, as a professional? What do you think a basketball court will do to that park? Professionally speaking.
I don't know.
I know because it happened at Halford Park. They put Kids Castle there and they wanted to rip out them basketball courts 1 week into Kid Castle being there. That's why I suggested moving the new park up away from them basketball courts. No one listened to me with the new park. I know what happened and I know what's gonna happen, but no one seems to care, so let's create more problems. That's my issue I have with this whole thing. We got plenty of places to put basketball courts. Let's do it where we're talking about doing this brand new park down there. Incorporate in there, but you won't do it. Incorporate in front of someone's house here. Put it in front of your house. You wouldn't like it. You wanna hear basketball slam all day? You wouldn't like it. You didn't like a Chinese restaurant in front of beside your house.
Oh, Greg,
So,
don't,
no,
okay,
that's it.
I'm
just
not gonna
telling
let you say that,
Well,
Greg.
you don't have to let me say it.
I'm not-
I'm allowed to speak, and that's what
You
I'm
are,
speaking of.
you are.
I'm simply saying, I hope you really consider what you're gonna do to that park. I don't care about me personally, everything and all the people around it that don't want it. So, that's all I have to say.
Okay.
Julie Stone again, just to say that I'm not always here just to complain. Back in November, a tree that, of course, you heard earlier, my house borders on borough property. My tree came down on my house. General comment wise, I want to say thank you to the borough, the public works, the highway department, because they were there faster than I could be there. I wasn't home. And they were awesome. They helped with everything. Wires came down, the police department was there, fire department, public works, highway, and they stayed the whole time, made sure we were safe to get in my house, made sure the electric box that got almost hit by the carport that came down was safe. They got in and got my dog out because we couldn't get into a door. Like, I just wanna say thank you, and let you know they did a great job. I'm very delayed in doing that, but I figured I'd do that
Okay,
while I was
thank you,
here.
Julie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
It's Alan Presley, 911 Vine Street. I just want to say something about the basketball court. You're talking about lowering the basket for little kids. Personally, I think that's a very bad idea, because what that'll draw is your bigger kids come down and dunk on that and break that. So I think the borough would be replacing that a whole lot. So you might want to think about that. I mean, lowering that would probably draw more kids, bigger kids than the small kids.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Kat.
Anyone else, general public comment? Seeing none, do I have a motion to adjourn to executive session? We won't be returning.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
For that.
What's his
Oh,
name? Dawn. What's his nickname? The guy just.
Oh, it's Kat.
Cat.
Good night, everyone.
You know, from youth club.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you see boys.